Welcome back, Farnham here, and welcome back to Behind the White Creepest. So, yeah, I just unplugged my refrigerator so I can make this recording in peace and without any really annoying background noise. Hopefully I will remember to plug it back in. So, yeah, in the last episode, as you may recall, I finished building all these rings and I had gathered a lot of sand. And yeah, and as you might recall, I had some issues with Reaper mod. With the recording of me building these rings was way too long and complicated. So yeah, just to know, this recording, this time lapse is segmented into 3 parts. So I think the transitions are pretty noticeable, but the changes between them are, well, null, so you won't really miss out on anything. Alright, so as you may have been hinted at in the title, I am not just building domes right now, and I am building some torus shapes. So the idea is that I'm gonna have some torus around the edges and maybe the intersections between the rings there to act as corridors and special rooms, pathways or something. And I'm gonna use them for different things, so mostly decorative. I figured it would be a good idea to have something that well, use the glass feature, the glass shape of my base, instead of just being a huge roof. So that's what I'm going to try to do. So as you see here at the first ring here, I have finished, well, half finished the outer glass wall, and I've started with the inner. And yeah, it goes a bit slow since this is the first time we do this. The second one will go a lot quicker, so yeah. This combined time lapse will just cover the first 2, so hopefully I'll have well, the rest of this finished by the time this episode ends, but there's no way to know for sure. Yeah. Anyways, as you may have noticed, I decided to go with a mix of green and lime green. This is mainly because I want to have some greenery in these corridors. So I'm thinking primarily the berry bushes that I have just haphazardly had in my base. Just place them in these rings instead, in these corridors, and yeah, they will both be functional and have a decorative purpose. So that's the idea behind that. Not quite sure what material I'm going to use for the rest of the dome. Well, glass obviously, but what color? I'm thinking of either white or yellow stained glass, or maybe plain glass. We'll see when I come to that, but that might be in the next episode. We'll see how far I can get in this episode. So yeah. Let's see, what more can I say? Oh yeah, of course there's the complimentary camera glitch. There's one more of those in this time lapse. That is in the third segment. This is the second segment, by the way, if you didn't notice the transition. So yeah, I have here started with the second ring. So yeah, there's really nothing different about the construction here, other than that I changed up the order with me building both inner and outer at the same time in parallel, instead of yeah, first the outer and then the inner. I think by the time I get to the third ring, which at this point I haven't yet, I think I'm going to do things a little bit different when I construct it. Since, as you will see in the next part, I am building the floor of the corridors. Yeah, and at this point in my construction, I hadn't figured out exactly how to do those just yet. But yeah, soon I will decide upon that. So yeah, here's the third part. Gathering up a little bit more cacti. Yeah, that last swarm of cacti was kind of a waste, since I didn't really... Yeah, I had to build over that field there, the upper field cacti, before I actually managed to grow anything. Yeah, so right now I am starting on building up the flooring of the corridors. So it takes a bit to work out exactly how. I decided to use andesite, but yeah, I might change that later. It's going to be 2 layers to the floor. First a bit of andesite, and then whatever I'm going to use. Camera glitch again. So maybe some grass, or maybe make a miniature lake or something, little puddle or something. Yeah, some planks maybe. We'll see. Yeah, who knows what I will come up with when I make the flooring on this. Right now it's just plain andesite, and then yeah, I make the second layer of flooring later. There's plenty of space, as you can see. Right. So, in case I haven't figured it out, the camera is just going through the first two rings. So, showing where the platform is letting you go. So here we should get a pretty good idea with the lower layer of the floor. What you're going to walk on is 1 layer above this. So that gives you an idea of how much room there is here. I'd say that's plenty. So, yeah. Anyways, we are nearing the end of this long time lapse of about 4.5 hours of work. Hopefully the rest of the rings will be quicker to fill up. We'll see. Yeah. So right now we're just working out the finishing up the inner glass wall. So alright, I'm gonna give you a tour once I'm finished voicing this part of this time lapse, and yeah. Alright, this is the end of this time lapse, so I'll be back in a couple of seconds. And I am back. So after making that voiceover, I plugged my refrigerator back in, and I had to wait until it was done making noise. So yeah, that's while I was waiting for that, I just started working on the next parts. So yeah, this here is ring number 5. So this is going to be a little bit special. It's not going to be a torus on this one, just a dome. Might place it a little bit higher than the others. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. So yeah, there's going to be a solid wall here, and yeah, I'm not quite sure exactly how it's going to be, but yeah, inside this dome I'm going to place some sort of farm. That's the plan anyways. So yeah, it's going to seem a little bit special. The reason for that, for it being special, is that it's the natural elevation is a bit higher than the rest of the base, so yeah. So it becomes directly connected to the corridors. Right, and you might notice that there's very little space out there. Yeah, that's a consequence of me choosing a such a large space. So there's very little in the middle. So I had to be careful when I construct my floor plan for the base itself, to maximize the use of these open areas, since there's going to be a few of them, at least in this part of the base. The front part, yeah, we have this huge area, so shouldn't be too much of a problem. Yeah, anyways, I'm going to continue doing some more construction of recording. So I'm going to construct the torus around ring number 3. Then I'm going to get work on ring number 4. So just to know, this is number 3. That one is number 4. Just so that's not confusing. And yeah, after that I will work on how to merge rings 1 and 2. Yeah, with the conflict area over there. That place. And we'll see how things go from there. So I'll be back in a few moments. Alright, see ya. And I am back. Alright, so I have been working a bit off camera, as I said I was going to do. So things are starting to get together here. I have figured out how to merge the rings together. So only need to finish that up. Rings 3 and 4 are already finished with their merging. So you can just walk on top here, no problem. Everything just seemed to transition smoothly. Although I think the roof became a little bit flatter than I originally planned for. So yeah, I don't know, maybe I should try to add something more to it. But I suppose it will be a little bit better once I get the domes up. So yeah, we'll see about that. Oh. Yeah, with glass everywhere, it's easy to just fall down. So yeah, I'm gonna continue working on this. Don't think this is worth putting in a time lapse, so I'm just gonna continue working off camera. And hello there, Mr. Zombie. Oops. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna continue working on this off camera, and I will be back once I have finished this up. Actually, I might want to try to make a proper transition like I had done before, so let's see here, what can I do to mark things? Not sure how much difference you can see from this, but try to look as straightforward from here. Okay, yeah, that will do. I'll try to match that. Alright, see you in a few seconds. And I'm back. So, yeah. I think I'm, well, done with the torus shapes and the roof in general. Yeah, so clean up all the diorite. I might have missed something, but I don't think so. Think I've been pretty thorough. So everything should be clean right about now. Yeah, and there's there's lime glass all around, except for, you know, the part over here where we're going to have the special farming area. And yeah, I actually have already gotten started on the dome here. So the plan is I'm going to use cyan glass, cyan stained glass for this dome, while using a mix of different types of stained glass for the domes for the rest of the base. I haven't completely decided exactly what combination to use, but yeah, at least for the one over there, primarily going to use cyan stained glass. So yeah, maybe I do some kind of pattern, we'll see. But yeah, you may notice that I am in replay mode right now, and that's because I'm going to end this episode as I started it. You're going to see a time-lapse. Yeah, it looks like there's a little bit more for me to fix with the claim chunks there. I guess it doesn't really matter much, but I should update it so I don't get that pop-up every time. Yeah, I suppose there's some place I can fix that. Alright, so it's about time I get started on this. So I'm saying so a lot. I mean, I must be really unsure. Maybe I should start writing scripts for these improvised segments. Yeah, that sounds a bit counterintuitive, and probably is. Alright, I'm just gonna get to it. And here I am with the last time lapse. So yeah, I started with the dome around the 5th ring, where the farm is going to be. So yeah, I decided to go for a mix of cyan and light blue, which I think worked pretty well. Not sure if the mix of colors I ended up with all these domes were the right choice. However, it is what I came up with. So yeah, that's that. Also, I tried to put in some stop motion between the domes. Yeah, as for dome around ring number 3, you see that I mixed up with light blue and some orange. Later I replaced that plain glass with stained yellow, because I thought that made more sense. Just going from stained glass to clean glass didn't quite sit well with me, so yeah, it was either all clean all the way or all stain all the way. Mixing it up just didn't make much sense, so yeah, there you have it. I decided that this color palette that I just made for these two domes is what I was going to use for the two big ones. So yeah, here you get to see that. Of course, while I built this, I tried to keep everything try to keep the construction in parallel, so yeah, things worked out just so I didn't have to go back and watch the building plans all the time. So yeah, but that was a good way of doing it efficiently. Of course, when it came to building the orange part for these two big domes here, I managed to run out of red dye. So actually it reminds me a bit about this old Norwegian YouTube video from the early days of YouTube. Yeah, I might make a card to it. It is subtitled, so yeah, my international viewers will of course be able to understand it through the yeah, fairly good localized subtitles. Alright, it's here I had to take a quick break to find some more poppies, and I was lucky that I actually eventually found some roses, so yeah. Now I have an infinite source of red dye. But yeah, closing in on the end of this episode now, so thank you for watching, and please, I appreciate any kind of feedback you may have, so please leave some in the comment. Don't forget to like, and if you haven't already, subscribe. And if you feel like I don't deserve your subscription or like, well, as I mentioned, please give some feedback. Explain why, because I really would like to improve on what I do. Yay! Alright, now every bit of construction is now done, so it's time for a quick cleanup. Alright, that's it. Farnham out.